Insight to how someone who's achieved so much has been phenomenal, man. It's been a great...
Training alongside experienced figures in Usyk's camp, Anthony Joshua works on a variety of techniques designed to enhance both his offense and defense. Observers note that Joshua consistently strives to improve whether through footwork, timing, or combinations. His approach is methodical yet adaptable, allowing him to experiment with different styles in a controlled environment. The camp gives him opportunities to train with partners who simulate real fight conditions, helping him stay sharp and ready. With the fight date approaching, every session becomes crucial for building physical strength and mental focus. Joshua's regimen shows his understanding that preparation and innovation are essential in boxing.
You know, Simon, I think he's at that stage of his career where he's trying to rediscover a little bit of that confidence. He's gone to Oleksandr Usyk, where we're hearing reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, Paul, isn't it?
It is, but it's not unheard of. I've heard of a lot of fighters doing that. You see fighters, obviously, it's the old Rocky movies years ago, but you see a fighter losing to someone, all of a sudden they go in the camp and they start training and do little bits together and become friends or whatever else. I think it'll do Joshua no harm travelling, but as you say, he's a little bit long in the tooth and he's a bit on the back nine rather than the front nine, where that experience would really come into play. But I'm just looking at his record here. He obviously, after the Usyk fight, he'd come back and he had 3 fights and then the Ngannou demolition job.
Well, yeah, Jermaine Franklin, he had Robert Helene, he had Otto Wally, and he smashed Ngannou, which everyone went hallelujah for, right?
Yeah, but he's obviously not in like the BoxRec rankings to see where he is. But the Dubois fight is a fight where, what you've just said then, Spencer, like, match him right. I felt he was matched right with Dubois. That's just my opinion.
Just
obviously, I was wrong on that and I was proved wrong, but I felt like Joshua would have and should have came through that, but he obviously didn't. So therefore, it's back to the drawing board, and where do you go from there? What do you do from there? Does he keep the same team around him? Does he go and find someone new and try and adapt and add to his repertoire already? And this move at Usyk, I don't know what it'll be, but if he's fighting before Christmas, then he needs to get in shape quick, because there's only 8 weeks to go, let's say.
Well, my understanding, he's in camp, he's in shape, and just looking to get an out and get back to winning ways, is my understanding. That's why they're talking about 8-rounders. Yeah. He wants to sort of go under the radar a little bit, and it's difficult for someone like Anthony Joshua because he's such a commercial commodity.
He's always been in shape all the time, hasn't he? Yeah. He always will be in shape. He's never, ever not been...
But it's not about his physical shape, is it? No one's ever questioned his physical state. Zach, when I was talking about Anthony Joshua, and I know that the president of his fan club is here in Spencer, well, I talked about the PTSD issue post various fights, whether it be the Oleksandr Usyk or the Daniel Dubois situation. But prior to Daniel Dubois, I always maintained that I felt that despite the performance against Jermaine Franklin, despite the performance against Robert Helenius, which had been blasted out by Deontay Wilder, and we've seen what Deontay Wilder...
Analyst True Jordy points out that Joshua joining Usyk's camp is not just about Jake Paul. The focus extends beyond the immediate fight to what comes next, particularly a potential clash with Tyson Fury. Usyk has already faced Fury twice and possesses deep insight into his techniques, timing, and strategies. Joshua's time in this camp is partly dedicated to learning from that experience, absorbing lessons that could shape his future bouts. By observing Usyk's training methods and adapting elements of his style, Joshua positions himself to respond more effectively in the ring. The preparation is intentional, aiming to strengthen not only his physical skills, but also his strategic understanding of elite-level boxing. Joshua's presence in Usyk's camp gives him the opportunity to learn from a fighter who has consistently faced top-tier opponents. Usyk's experience with Tyson Fury offers valuable insight into movement, adaptability, and technical adjustments that Joshua can apply throughout his broader career. While the upcoming fight with Jake Paul is important, the training simultaneously prepares Joshua for future high-level matchups. Through observing Usyk's routines, sparring strategies, and detailed planning, Joshua benefits from knowledge that goes far beyond the present bout. This approach reflects foresight, discipline, and a commitment to growth traits that define true professional athletes.
It's fighting. Okay, so but let's talk about what this means for AJ. He's going to team Usyk. I think personally that is with one eye on the Fury fight. There, he's like, you clocked Fury. You completely understand everything about him. You fought him twice. You know every weakness, and I need to learn as much as I can from you in a short space of time. It's obviously not for a fucking Jake Paul fight. Yeah. I think it's more about the Fury fight than it is about Ben Davison having people like Wardley. I think that's actually the real reason. However, I wouldn't mind seeing Anthony Joshua versus Wardley if AJ can get his mind right.
I believe that's in Feb. I believe that will be the next, because it makes the most sense. When you're trying to matchmake, I know Frank Warren does not want to put his fighters in together. It makes sense. And the money, we can go straight back to Wembley, and then actually, let's imagine that AJ does beat Fabio. Now we're talking about Fury versus AJ for a belt again. Yeah. It's perfect. So, and this is, I honestly feel this is the road that we're taking. We're all roads lead to Woody.
Can I ask you, though, do you think they're going to let Fabio in there with AJ before they get the biggest fight possible? Like, they've already fucked up AJ Fury enough times. Well, that's a big risk, right?
Well, the thing is, there's no safe route to a big fight anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? And the fact is, Fabio Wardley will be absolutely down for that fight because that's the biggest payday.
That motherfucker's game as fuck.
Yeah, but it's like, even just on the note of AJ with, the 5th trainer of his career so far, I think he's just disconnected from the idea that I'm going to have a trainer that me and him, and we're buddies and we're tight and we're in the pocket together. I think he's done with that. It's almost like modern basketball teams where they're not loyal to their teams anymore. They trade and they bounce around. The best situation, they just take it. I think he's looking at it like, I'll do a bit of time with you, bit of time with you. We don't need to be best friends and pretend like we've got this father-son relationship. Piss off, bro.
He's
Teach
sponging,
me what you want.
Sponging,
and I'm out.
He's sponging as much as he can up from each individual trainer.
As boxers, do you not think...
Eddie Hearn has discussed the high stakes surrounding Anthony Joshua's upcoming fight with Jake Paul. He explains that a loss in this bout could potentially signal the end of Joshua's career, making retirement a very real consideration. Despite this, Hearn expresses complete confidence in Joshua's abilities and preparation, emphasizing that boxing is never a casual sport. Joshua approaches every fight with professionalism, and his mindset for this matchup is no different. He is treating Jake Paul as a legitimate threat, dedicating himself to disciplined training and rigorous preparation. In Spain, while training with Usyk's team, Joshua sharpens his technique, enhances his reflexes, and strengthens his conditioning. Every drill, sparring round, and endurance exercise reinforces how crucial precision and control are, as even the smallest mistake can lead to major consequences in the ring. Hearn's comments highlight Joshua's commitment to the sport and his measured, focused mentality. Even though he is facing a high-profile crossover star like Jake Paul, Joshua maintains discipline, respect, and complete seriousness toward the fight. His preparation reflects strategic intelligence, physical readiness, and mental sharpness, ensuring he is fully equipped to handle every challenge this bout may present.
On record saying that you and AJ must retire if Jake Paul wins on December 19th. Stand by that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I suppose so. Shit, yeah. Look, I don't see a world where Jake Paul wins this fight. I know that boxing's boxing. And I mean, what was it? Roy Jones came out this morning and said Jake Paul can win this fight.
Teddy Atlas as well.
Teddy Atlas? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, now I'm a bit worried. I won't retire. AJ should retire if he loses, no.
Sorry.
No, I see AJ winning this fight with ease, comprehensively, destructively, violently, and I don't see a world where Jake Paul is competitive in the fight, let alone win the fight. But luckily, AJ's not preparing in a way that he just thinks it's a joke. He's preparing for Jake Paul like he's a world title contender. Yes, it's been a little bit of a shorter camp. Yes, we've got to make weight this time around, but it doesn't matter. We should just slide through this guy and bash him up and beat him up, and we should do it early doors.
Just lastly, you said as well that you told Nikisa that he was weighing 290 when you were negotiating. What impact did that have? Did you feel like they would have gone even lower if they knew he was weighing 265?
No, I mean, I don't think that when you're negotiating on a weight, there's not one promoter in the world that would tell the truth about what the weight of the fighter was, and Nikisa knows that anyway. So it wasn't like we were being clever, but they wanted him to come to 240. And it's just, don't forget, AJ's never made weight before. So all of a sudden, he's tried. He'd been in camp for, 2 or 3 weeks, and he's probably sitting at, 260, 265.